All right, we have pulled up to the property here. Welcome to Gio's property behind me. You will see this is the after situation. And as we go in the house and meet with Gio, we'll come back out here and do a little tour and get into some information here. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome in everybody. We are in Gio's property, his finished rehab property. This is my man Gio here.
What's going on, everybody?
Gio, just want to say appreciate you for coming and spending your time and kind of giving this little interview to give a whole backstory about how you acquired the property. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the process of the property. We're going to go through it and see the rehab process and what it was kind of before, what they did after, and then also get into the numbers of the property so you can see what we kind of did there.
Fun stuff.
So Gio, first thing, again, I appreciate your time. Can you just give the audience kind of just like the background of who you are, what you did, and how you came to this?
Sure. So super quick story. Got into real estate back in 2017 or 18. Make a long story short, buddy of mine, I was just getting out of school, finishing up school. Buddy of mine came to me and was like, hey, should we do real estate? I was like, I don't know. Then he whipped out a couple of checks and was like, all right, I know. So, the first couple of years I started wholesaling. So for those of you who don't know, essentially wholesaling is you're flipping the contract or you're flipping your interest in a property that you have in a contract to an end buyer. And then, you make a fee from that.
So I know you've probably seen some of the other few videos that we posted with me and Gio. Actually have done a couple of deals together. So you probably be familiar with his face in some of the videos. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you go to Real Estate with Ray on his channel. And also you can find Gio on Instagram and let you know the Instagram handle.
Yeah, so mine is at POW Investing, Power Investing. So that's profits over wages investing.
And we'll post that in the video here so you can follow him there. The first thing I want to talk about is how did you kind of acquire this property here? How did you get this property?
Sure. So this property is actually located in Pittsburgh. So it's definitely an up and coming area. I actually bought this from a wholesaler who helped me, who was actually helping me do the project as well. So we brought somebody, presented and said, hey, check out this property. I know you're looking heavy in Pittsburgh. I got one for you. What are we trying to do? So I walked the property. It used to be a 2-1. It was abandoned for who knows how long, built back in the 1930s. It just needed a full, just top to bottom to top to bottom, just rehab from the jump. So I already kind of knew what I was looking at into there. So I was like, okay, after kind of looking at looking at the area, looking at my rehab budget as to what I kind of figured what I was going to need to do. I said, okay, let's go ahead and pull the trigger and make this thing happen.
Now, throughout that process, after you closed on the property, what was the paperwork like as far as getting to that rehab process? Because at this point, you already got the property and you closed on it. Now it's time to get to work on fixing it. What was that process like?
Well, so that process, like I said, it needed a whole demo. So you actually have to go through the city in order to do your electrical, plumbing, HVAC. Technically, you're supposed to do that for your demo process as well.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Right, we're not gonna talk about that.
Okay, so we demoed the property.
We gut the property
out. We don't necessarily knock it down to the ground.
No, we take it to the studs.
We take it to the studs, and then what's the paperwork process after you get the property down to the studs now?
Sure. So it's going to be the same thing. So for any property that you're working on, like I said, you just go to the city, you call up for inspections and permits and whatnot. So for example, we was doing the electrical, the HVAC, the framing, and the plumbing, I think I should say. Anytime we would hit those milestones, we got to hit the city, hey, come by, take a look. They, do their walkthrough there. There was actually a permit check sheet on that on one of these windows here, and you actually have to stick it on there, or you have it in a permit box, whichever.
Okay.
And they basically, go, yep, it's good. Yep,
Is that the little white
good.
like Home Depot box?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's exactly. So yeah, you can have it there, or you can have it on a window, the inside of the house.
Okay, got you. So after you got the property,
Yep.
you start putting in the HVAC, the electrical. Let's say you knock out the HVAC, you bring in the people, they check it, and then you can go to the electrical, they check it. So you can't do it all together and then have them check it.
So they're all 4 separate pieces, but they're kind of together at the same time.
But you still got to do it separate so they can check it.
Yeah, it's a separate. They're each one's a separate thing.
Okay, so the audience understands. So whenever you get the property, you're going through. You have your HVAC, your electrical, your plumbing. You have to do all of those separate, so the city can come and check that individually. So then you can move forward. Now, although it's still within all the same bubble, you still have to have that individually checked. So you don't end up doing everything, and then the city comes back and they're probably like, "Oh, well, this was wrong," and then now you got to start over or whatever. Yeah, so
yeah. So you also have to do that for. I think you have to do that for installation as well.
So you close up the wall. What's the next step in that? As far as, do you have to deal with the county after that, or can you start finishing?
So after that, no, you really don't have to deal with them anymore.
Okay.
Like I said, they just want to make sure that the house is structurally sound and that it's safe.
So so at that point, so right now that process in general, how long? Like, what's the timeline of that? How long did that kind of last?
How long did the project last?
Yeah, well, as far as the paperwork process before you can even start everything, like how much time?
So normally,
no.
normally the paperwork side is in about 2 months, give or take. But because COVID hit, that process was about 8 months I was waiting for.
Oh wow! So you lost
8 months worth of
6 months extra on top of the regular time in Atlanta before you do the paperwork.
Yep.
So just happened to be an unfortunate situation that COVID was here at the time of renovating the property, but normally it wouldn't take that long.
Right. And what we kind of did was we basically took it as far as we could go without permits. So like we went ahead and demoed it. We went on ahead and I think there was like a foundation issue. We went ahead and just took care of that.
So kind of proactive on that.
Right. So we tried to be as proactive as possible, so that way when the city finally did decide to do something, then we just be ready to go. Just had it running. So guys, when we acquired the property, all this was basically jungle. Right out here, this outside porch was closed off. I'll go ahead and take that inside. Obviously, the roof was completely old and dilapidated, so we were having to put on the roof. We opened up the porch right here. Definitely makes it a little more homey. Like I said, this used to be closed off. Let me see what other was we do. Windows we kept in the same place. Doors we kept in the same place, so we didn't change any of that. Come on in. So this used to be a 2-1. So right here where we're standing, this used to be like the living area, and there was a wall about where I'm standing back towards you guys, which that separated room 1 and room 2. And then towards the back was kind of like the dining area, we're gonna call it, and then the kitchen like somewhere back there. And then, like I said, all this over here was room 1, bathroom 1, room 2. But now we've turned into a 3-2. So right here we got bathroom 1. Real quick, boom. Right here we got bathroom, bedroom 2. An actual laundry room. Yeah, nice.
Oh, those are fancy.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and clean that up. Then we got, bedroom 3. Bedroom 2. So we got bedroom 2. Then we did the master over here with its own master bathroom. outside. There was a deck out here, but the deck was falling apart. Just it wasn't going to make it. So we built a new deck. Funny with the deck. I think you also had to get that approved to do anything with the city as well. Again, you know, the city was taking their time, so we was like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this taken care of real quick. So got that knocked out. Eventually, that'll be an ADU, that structure over there. So you know, that'll be coming on in the pipeline. And yeah, that's basically the whole house.
All right, there was one room I'll grab real quick here.
Sure.
It'll be just to get a better look at the kitchen. So you got to see that. So now we kind of want to get into the exit strategy, and then we'll get into the numbers. So as far as your exit strategy, do you plan on selling the property, or are you holding the property? Like, what are you doing with this right now that you're still working on it?
Sure. So for this particular property, because of where it is, I can foresee that this area is going to grow. So my strategy is to hold it. Now in that holding process, you can either rent it for long term or rent it for short term. I've chosen to do short-term rentals, so things like Airbnb, things like that.
Okay.
You know, to have it cash flowing, and at the same time, we're also going to refinance out of the property, so that way the loan that now I'm using to finance the repairs and acquisition and all that gets wiped away and taken care of. So when, you know, it's like I said, refinance that for a lower rate, and then use the capital from that to go into another project.
Okay, so you're refinancing the property. You chose to hold it. You say you're going to do Airbnb, which is going to give you even more cash flow.
Correct.
I would assume. And then you refinance the project. So speaking of refinance, that'll kind of lead us into the numbers of the property. Let's start with initially when you bought the property. How much did you buy the property for?
Bought the property for, let's call it 90.
90, okay.
Mm-hmm. And we had an estimated rehab budget of about 90. So between COVID happening and just some of the unforeseen things that pop up when you are doing a project, which just are going to come anyway, it came out all said and done about 130.
130. Okay, so you're looking at about 220 you was all in. So 90 at the initial price of the house. 130, and that's including all the paperwork, the process, the holding costs.
Yeah, that's everything. So all in, you're right. I'm in that all in about 220, 230, somewhere in that range.
Okay, so we had 220, and then now you can hold the property. So since you're not selling it, essentially you're not making a profit off of the sale, but you can refinance it.
Correct.
So do you make a profit at all throughout the property?
When you refinance a property, you go to a financial institution. They will typically give you 80% off of what the property is worth. So to make numbers super easy, let's say the property was worth $100,000. The bank will give you 80. Right. So in this case, the property is worth $350. So they'll give you back
whatever, 80%.
I think that was like 280, I think is the number. Which again, if I'm all in at 220, then that means about 60 left.
60. So then your refinance profits would be about 60K after
yes.
it's all said and done.
And all of that is not taxed because it's essentially a loan. You technically didn't gain anything. So all that 60 that comes back.
You can't tax debt.
Right, you can't tax debt. Okay. Exactly. So I use those funds to again put into a different project and kind of keep the train rolling. Okay,
so then essentially you probably would call that like an infinite return, because not only did you get a refinance profit from fixing the house up from where it used to be back from the 30s, but you also going to hold it and cash flow it. So now you're getting continuous income from this property here by holding it, and you have the benefits of refinancing the property because you own it, and then you can use that for other projects and kind of keep doing that over and over again. So it sounds essentially like the burst strategy. If you guys know, bigger pockets. It's kind of like the bird strategy. Instead of renting,
exactly what it is.
you're just doing Airbnb. Instead of renting it to one tenant, you're doing short-term rental for multiple people that come throughout the property. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. So for those particular numbers, that profit you made, how long did it take for you to get that profit? Well, not even just like the process. So just the time you said I want to refinance to the time the money hit the account.
Gotcha. So the refinance process takes a couple weeks, like 2.
So then technically we can say that you made 60 grand in 2 weeks.
If you're starting at the refi process, yes.
60 grand in 2 weeks. That is a crazy number.
Yes, if you're starting from the rehab from the end of the project, then yes, it took 2 weeks.
But ultimately, for the whole entire project, it took how long to make that 60 grand?
Let's see, August of 2020 to what's this, March of 2022. So what's that, about 18 months?
Yeah, so a little about a year and a half.
Yep, about a year and a half, give or take.
For this particular project, because of COVID now, we just want to put that out there. That's a disclaimer. COVID extended that.
Right, so if you subtract about 8 months from that, because like I said, that it caused the city to shut down, then you were really looking at
like 9 or 10 months or something.
Somewhere in that range, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Gio, I definitely appreciate your time.
No problem. I appreciate you coming out here.
For everybody, again, make sure you go follow him on Instagram. It's at POW Investing. And again, we'll put that up on the screen. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's Real Estate with Ray. We go ahead and give you the ins and outs of real estate and tell you what this business is really all about. And until my next video, I will see you all later.
Peace.